to delete the other video. So hi guys, welcome to live stream. I just need to put in the right sources into the source settings. So hi, sorry, I know that it's a little confusing because today I did a test at 5:30 just because I've been struggling to get some of the settings to work, and I fixed what the problem was and I understand that now, but it meant that I went online at 5:30, which I think confused a lot of people. But I fixed all my going online problems, which is very good. So welcome guys to live stream. If you've never been on live stream with me before, then the way that you ask questions or speak to me is through Skype, and my Skype address is Lisa Cairns 12. So you just speak to me through Skype, which is Lisa Cairns 12. And you can either call me or you can write to me. If you call me, make sure that you have your headset, and it's better that you call me from a computer rather than a phone. But if you do call me from a phone, then you do, and we'll try and work with it just because of sound levels on this side. I can't take everybody's call, so I just try to pick people that haven't spoken so much, and I try to speak to them first. And you know, when you call, it's okay if you're nervous, and for us to sit in silence. We don't always have to speak. Sitting in silence is also really beautiful. And so, you know, if you find that you phone and you get really nervous, you can just say, can I have a minute, Lisa, just to sit here and to feel my feelings well, or to feel what's coming up, or just to calm down or whatever. You know, and I prefer that, because what happens sometimes when people are nervous is that they give me verbal diarrhea instead, and you know, and that's my least favourite, is verbal diarrhea, because I have to listen, because at some point you're going to chuck in a question, you'll be like, ba, 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 question, and then I won't have been listening, I'll be like and also it's coming from a really strong seeking energy to be loved, and it's never fun for the other person when you're coming to somebody trying to get love for them. That's, in a way, that's never a very loving attitude. Seeking from another isn't love, you know, and it's never very pleasant for the other person, even though it might be pleasant for you because you feel like you might be getting attention. If you really felt into it, you'd feel that you feel nervous and uncomfortable, and that's what you're kind of pushing onto the other person is that discomfort, is that desperate energy. There is nothing in the flow that completes you. Your completion is what's happening, always is what's happening. You know, and you compromise and you lose yourself when you're always trying to get something from the flow. And you're trying to complete yourself in the flow. And this is when, in a way, you're disrespecting yourself. If that's the right word. So the most loving thing you can do for anyone, the biggest political activism that you can do, is to be yourself in every moment. And what I mean by being yourself is that amness, is that consciousness, is pure beingness. And what pure beingness is doing is it's spontaneously expressing, and it's expressing through these bodies. And when I say be yourself, it's kind of double-edged, because when you go back to that amness and the body stops trying to be somebody and just is as it is, and that's also, the amness is who you truly are. But when you listen to these talks, don't listen with your head. Like, you can't, I mean, what does that say? But don't listen with your mind. Like, don't take something from these talks. Listen, but don't listen. Like, that's what this is really about, is reminding you of this freedom that's here, that's experiencing all of this vastness that's experiencing everything. It's so exciting. So I do these talks every Sunday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. French time, and you're very welcome to join. And I'm going to show you how to subscribe and to get notifications that I've gone live. So first of all, you have to put my name in, Lisa Cairns. Click on that, click on the channel, put subscribe, press subscribe, and then press the little bell, send notifications when I go live, save. But you could also just remember the time, like work it out in your country. So you just put it in, press Lisa Cairns, press subscribe, and then press the little bell next to it, send notifications. Brilliant. And then I'm going to show you how to subscribe to my website, and then you'll get updates of events and different things that I'm doing. So you go to my website, www.lisacairns.com, and then it should just come up on the front page. If not, it's at the bottom of the screen, but it should come up on the front page. Subscribe, and then put in your mail address. And there's also donation buttons on the front page. There's also donation, so you can donate for these talks. And then events. I've got an event in London, the 17th and 18th of December, for 2 days. And then I have an event in India, 3 weeks of a talk every day, done an event in Cairns, Spain, in March, a 1-week retreat, in a really, really beautiful retreat center in Spain. It's up in the mountains. And then I also have a retreat in June. And that, it's in Saint Anton in Nobervel. It's very beautiful. And I'm going to start doing less events, so less retreats and everything. So make sure that you you book a spot, because last year the retreats filled up quite quickly. So it's better that you book one now. And I'm going to be doing less, so there's less for people to go to. And I keep saying I'm going to go to America, but I'm not sure. Just come to Europe. It's not that far for you guys. Hi Scott. Hi Antonin. Hi Lawrence. Hi Jessie. Hi Renate. Hi Kevin. Hi Lucette. Hi Joanna. Hi Carol. Hi Elango. Hi Sebastian. Hi Christian. I won't look at the questions yet. I'll just give it a minute while I carry on speaking. So what is non-duality? Non-duality is the most beautiful subject that you'll ever hear. And it's basically pointing to a freedom that's beyond any worldly forms. It's beyond who you think you are, your body, your actions, your past, your lifestyle, your good actions or bad actions. It's not about being a good person. And it's basically talking about a freedom that is beyond you. It's beyond anything in this world. But it's also talking about everything, being everything in this world. So it's a freedom of this world, but then it's also an intimacy of this world as well. It's both. And it is the end of suffering. It's not the end of pain and pleasure, and it's not an order of a perfect life. I will always have money, and I will always have young looks, and I will always be respected, or I will never feel shy again, or never feel embarrassed. It's not an avoidance of being human, but it's the end of the attachment to all of those feelings and the energy that's trying to avoid them. So in a way, it's the end of running away from being alive, but it's not getting out of being alive. It's not getting out of the human manifestation of it. Often when people come into non-duality, and because of the way that other non-dual speakers speak, and I'm not criticizing them, it's really valid what they're doing, and it's really important what they're doing, but often people just don't want to deal with their feelings or their life anymore, and so they go into non-duality thinking that they can go into non-duality and escape their job problems, their relationship problems, their money problems. But it's actually, non-duality is going to point you back to what's actually happening. And so it's going to always point you back to this. And in this, there might have to be dealing with quite uncomfortable feelings. So the feeling of not fitting in at work, or the feeling of lack of money, or the feeling of feeling unloved by your partner almost has to be dealt with, because that's what's appearing now. If you're feeling tightly contracted because of an argument with your partner, that's what's happening. There's no escape from it. And the freedom is here. We often think that we can go behind the human experience, but it's actually in the human experience. It's in everything that's happening. It's in every feeling, every sensation, everything that appears. That's where love is. So it's now, if you put your hands on your computer and you feel that warmth, that's where it is. That's where God is. If you feel your body and you feel intense fear, that's where God is. We try to get away from the fear and think that's what will bring us freedom. But it's never in escaping what's happening. It's in the absolute intimacy of what's happening. And none of the concepts that I present or any other non-duality teacher presents is the truth. Because in this moment, in what's happening, in this, concepts are irrelevant. Whether you're a doer or not a doer, whether you're a self or not a self, whether you are happy or sad, it's irrelevant here. In this, in the instant of this, all of that explodes. And that's seen to be a world that is only practical for survival, and it's not actually describing your experience. It's not actually describing what's happening. It's an ability for the humans have formed in order to survive better. So it's certainly, thinking cannot talk about the nature of reality. And this is really pointing back to the nature of reality, and the nature of reality and the answers to why you're alive can only be found in what's happening, and that's what's always happening, not in some stupid intellectual idea. It's always in what's happening. The answer to why you're alive is in being alive. Of course, that's where it is. The answer to why you're alive is in being alive, not in understanding it intellectually. Our language is based on opposites. I know that I am a tall person because of short people. I know that I'm a thin person because of fat people. I know that I'm a clever person because of stupid people. I know I'm a white person because of black people. It's always in comparison. I couldn't be white if there wasn't other colours. I couldn't be intelligent if there wasn't other levels of intelligence. I couldn't be tall if there weren't short. Our language is based on comparison. So therefore it's not a fixed thing and it's not true. Are you happy? In comparison to what? But we base our reality in thinking. We base our happiness, we base our joy, we base our decisions in thinking. Where it's all happening spontaneously now. The body instantly knows. Life instantly knows what direction it wants to go in. Right here. This is love. This amness, this presence is love. It's empty, it holds on to nothing and is no one. And yet it's full of absolute love, and that love is everything. Oh, it's so exciting. I love this subject. And now people call and they're like, yeah, I want to die. I hate my life. It's so funny. But this is so beautiful. And even if you want to call and you want to say those things, I will keep pointing you back to home. And I'm not saying that you don't need to express it. When you call me, you have to be 100% who you are in that moment. And if that is a really depressed person, then please give it to me fully. That was a really bad sentence. Give it to me fully. Give it to me, baby. And we can work through it. If you're trying to pretend to not be depressed or to not be sad or to not be angry, then it just makes it more work for me. Because obviously I can feel that. Give it to me. She's so naughty. I am naughty. Hey, Cal. Oh, hey, Gert. I always forget that's you. Thanks, Jesse. That was a very funny moment in the film. It's a pleasure to meet you. I do not speak English very well and have nothing to ask. I just wanted to express gratitude for honesty of the message that you spread and the intimate resonance with the same message that is here. It's not common, so common. Ah, thanks, Antonin. Yeah, it's so beautiful, non-duality. Hello, lovely one. In your former talks, you said that you help the person tightening the cage. Tidying, not tightening. But who wants just that and does not go for non-duality? That one does not worth your breath, really. I would like to ask you, why do others worth your breath? Why does the one going for non-duality worth your breath? Huh? I don't think you got the English quite right there. Okay, so we'll go to the subject again. So the reason that I speak about, it's not even worth separating it out anymore, but the reason I speak about non-duality, that which is beyond anything, and I talk about what the person feels in this, is because freedom is right here, not out of this. And what's happening in most body-mind mechanisms is they have a feeling, so they feel unloved, they feel nervous or unvalidated, and they're always trying to run away from that. And they build up all these seeking patterns, and they call that their personality. So seeking for love might be a really excited character or a really excited person all the time, always showing happiness and always trying to show happiness. And they're not even aware that what they're doing is seeking for love. Now, this is all in the personal realm. By telling the person that, it's more than likely going to break such strong energy going into trying to avoid or trying to get to something and trying to be something other than what you are. And I think that mixed with non-duality is a more balanced way of talking about this. I love just talking about non-duality and that you aren't that person, and I love pointing that out. But what I find happens is that people just take in non-duality and use it as another way to avoid what's actually happening. And this is all about coming back to what's actually happening. So for the moment, there's an enjoyment of speaking about it like this, and that's the way it comes out. But I'm sure at some point there will be a different way of speaking of it, because they'll be seeing different traps that people get into. Non-duality isn't a particular path, or there isn't a particular way to waking up. And that's why normally in non-duality you have a teacher, a live teacher that you speak to and ask questions. And so basically what comes is just the energetic response in that moment, but there's not this dogmatic teaching in which people follow. So the teacher doesn't set up this leads to this and this leads to that, it doesn't set up an enlightenment path, because there is no enlightenment path. You can't find the way to non-duality. You can't sit and meditate for the next 10 years and then you'll be at non-duality. Or you can't sit and emotionally release and then you'll be at non-duality. It's something that happens. And normally there's a speaking to somebody where there's been that energetic shift from being someone to boundlessness. And that person is responding from that boundlessness. And if that's speaking to the person and helping the person, then that's what's happening. And if that's not helping the person, then that's what's happening. And there's an absolute trust in it from this perspective. It's not even me trusting it, it just totally trusts that. And the right answers will come. And sometimes it might be this way, and sometimes it might be that way, and sometimes it might be a bit of a mix of both. One never knows. I'm calling Lawrence, but he's not picking up. Hello?
Oh.
Hey, Lawrence.
Hello. Do you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
See? Yeah, very well.
Nice. Hey.
I don't see you.
You should do. If you look in Skype, you should see me.
Oh, yeah, I see myself now.
Okay, well, I'll switch myself on and off again, and maybe that will trigger it. Are you on a phone?
Yeah, on the tablet. Ah, there we go.
Yeah? Nice.
Yeah,
I think you might need to just put your headphones in if you've got some.
I got some.
But it's not that big a deal if you haven't got them. I think it's okay.
How's that?
It's just that I can't really tell what it's like in YouTube, but I know that sometimes it creates a problem if you don't.
Okay.
So you're Dutch, Lawrence.
I am, yes.
I can just tell a tiny, tiny English-speaking Dutch accent. It's very small, actually, but I can just tell a little bit.
The accent, you recognize the accent?
Yeah, from a year living in Holland, you become very
Oh, you
sensitive.
did?
Yeah. Just over a year I lived in Holland, like a year and a couple of months. So you become very sensitive to the English-speaking Dutch. It's very specific. It's very different from when the Germans speak English. Even Flemish sound very different.
Absolutely. Yeah, is that true?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But Dutch, I can recognize very easily when somebody speaks English.
Yeah. And whereabouts in Holland are you?
South Holland. Den Haag.
Nice. It's a nice area.
Yeah, it is. It is very, very nice. I like it.
Yeah.
So, a little bit nervous.
You can take your time. No hurry.
Yeah, that's. And what you said before, you don't want to hear about the diarrhea, the verbal diarrhea. Don't want to take that too hard.
I don't mind a bit of chatting. It's when people phone up, and I'm sure if you've listened to a few, they phone up and then suddenly it's like, bah, 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 and they're like a machine gun suddenly of words. You're like,
Yeah, I'm not like that, but there was a thing. There's freedom, a sense of freedom when you recognize this non-duality, right?
yeah. It depends what awakening you're having, because there's different awakenings that you can have. You can see that there's a consciousness looking, or that there's nothing looking, or that life looking, but there's not. And that will be a profound shift, but that might not be the energetic expansion. And so therefore you're still, as a person, you still feel the same. You still feel like there's a located person that's looking out through the eyes, but yet there's a knowing of that nothingness. And that does have an effect. It does really profoundly change things, that waking up, but you still feel like a location. And then there's the other one that happens where it's like a forward energy, where it's like there stops being the looking from a location, and then there's this energetic movement back into things. It's quite hard to describe that one. It's easier to describe the no-thingness. It's normally the no-thingness happens first, and then the energetic movement one happens, and that one feels like love when it happens.
Yeah, I can really sense that the body-mind wants to go for that, of course.
Yeah.
But I also get really this good sense from non-duality, and well, that means you and I are the same. And everybody in the chat, right?
Yeah, everybody.
It is?
Yeah, everybody and everything.
Last night, it hit me so good, so hard. And I really was, oh my God, this is it. But the conditioning of the body-mind, now I'm a little bit more back in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. You can even find that it comes so strongly, the contraction, that you completely forget that boundlessness, or that this isn't individuals looking, it is one energy looking. So it can even come so strongly, that sense of being a person, that you can't really remember it. Like it fogs it completely. It's amazing. It's amazing how convincing the dream is of being something separate. And when it comes, even after there's been these strong awakenings, it can come back, that fog of being separate.
Yeah, it does. But I guess we don't want to get rid of the dream. We like the dream, right?
Yeah, to an extent. But
that depends on how your life is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's very important to have virtues and to make your life work, because else it's only suffering.
Yeah.
You can be an awake person and suffer only. No?
And you got to remember that there's only 5% of the world that are in wealth. That 95% of humans are actually really struggling for survival, and everybody in the England, Holland, no matter how poor you are or how bad your life is, in wealth. Isn't it crazy? It's so, and we just don't see that. We only see wealth, us Westerners, and we normally see ourselves as poor, and the other wealth
greedy as well.
But it's only what you're in comparison to. So we're in a richer society, so then our expectations are higher. It's all about comparison. The separate self, everything, the whole of suffering is about comparison. I am this, you are that. I am rich, you are poor. You have more than me, I have less than you. And none of it's true, really. If you step aside and then there's the seeing that you are that boundless energy, then there's nobody that's got more or less. The body's always going to be greedy, though. Even when that movement happens, the body will still want the biggest piece of the cake or the nicest pizza or the nicer apartment. It's not going to be like, I'll take the worst apartment there possibly is. But so the body has that movement, but there is this other thing which is inclusive of everything. And it's really something that you can't speak about, what happens, this movement of energy from being contracted and a contraction looking to an expandedness, and to other people they won't even notice difference, because on a human level, you still want the nicer apartment, you still want the bigger piece of cake, you still have arguments, or you can still get grumpy or bad mooded or pissed off or shy or embarrassed or all these things. So on the human level they might not notice, but it's no longer happening to someone. So all these human dynamics don't belong to anyone anymore.
It feels like it's happening to someone. I experience it like happening to someone. That's the dream, right?
Yeah, totally, that's the dream. It's not really happening to you, because who is that someone it's happening to? Hang on a second, people are complaining about the sound. I can see it. My sound is gone. Hello? Oh, I don't know why my sound is gone.
Okay, I can hear you.
That's the most important.
No, just for...
No, but it is the most important. Like sometimes, a couple of times I've been offline and I've just carried on talking on Skype, not knowing that I've gone offline. We just sat there talking for like an hour. And it's like, oops. Nice.
Sound back on, or?
I don't know. It seems like it's working from my technical board that I've got on my computer. So who is that person that it's happening to?
You mean the body-mind?
Yeah, so who's awakening happening to? Well, you said it seems like it's happening to a person. Who is that person it's happening to?
That is the body-mind. It is like the body-mind recognizes what's really going on.
Yeah.
That's consciousness is only that.
So what is the body-mind? Can the body-mind actually recognize anything?
Yes, I do believe so.
Well, if we call it consciousness, which I have a tendency not to call it consciousness, but if we call it consciousness, so there is this knowing, this consciousness of everything. So there is something that recognizes everything, which is beyond the body-mind mechanism. So then what is the body-mind mechanism? And the body-mind mechanism, in my description, would be something which produces thoughts and feelings, but it doesn't actually recognize anything. But that body-mind mechanism is always being updated by those thoughts and feelings. So today it might recognize that...
That's what it is. I believe there are different thoughts and feelings
yeah,
now producing in the
yeah,
body-mind.
yeah. But that's not actually somebody's experience. So it's not actually somebody that's having that experience. It's that the body-mind mechanism is remembering the last moment and then this moment, putting it together in a current dream of itself. But that is like a film playing. What's actually recognizing that is beyond that. The body-mind mechanism never recognizes a thing. If there wasn't consciousness, then it would be like a film playing in a cinema and nobody was sitting watching it.
I'm sorry, I don't follow.
Yeah, okay. So,
what's your question? Because you say, what's the body-mind?
So you said it feels like somebody's having an awakening. It feels like it's happening to someone. And who is that someone?
Well, that is the body-mind. It's not a someone. It's a mechanism.
Yeah.
It's the mechanism who realizes or produces different patterns.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's before it was the pattern of I'm a person, and how the patterns are. You are consciousness, man.
Yeah.
You still need to get your life in order.
Yeah.
But you are a bit different than you thought you were.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what's now happening in the body-mind mechanism, and that's really beautiful, and that's the side effect. And what that does is that over the years will profoundly change the body-mind mechanism, and it will always update it and be changing that body-mind mechanism. But it's not that body-mind mechanism that wakes up, because there's nobody inside the body-mind mechanism to wake up. That body-mind mechanism appears in consciousness, and it's a movement back to that consciousness or to that boundlessness. So it doesn't actually happen to someone. It's just the boundless energy seems to go through a filter of someone. So say this is the someone, this is the boundless energy, and then it kind of goes through it and makes it feel like it's a small person, and it comes out like a small person. But it's actually everywhere. The boundless energy is everywhere. And it just is a movement back to that boundless energy. So right now, what's looking at me, you're 100% free. What's looking at me and what's having an experience is that boundless energy. So now that which hears me is an endlessness, is eternity. That which sees me is eternity, which is so beautiful. But it looks through that particular instrument. And that particular instrument is a never-ending vehicle for this. So the particular instrument in which it's looking through, in which the change is happening, is always going to be updating and changing that instrument. So it'll be changing your ideas, it'll be changing the way you see non-duality, it'll be changing your likes, your preference, your traumas, all of these things, but it will never come to an end. You'll never come to a particular way in which you see non-duality. You'll never come to a destination of being the most enlightened body-mind mechanism. The body-mind mechanism is something that's always being updated and evolved. But that wasn't the part that awoke. What awoke was consciousness, or boundlessness, or beingness. And then that has a profound effect on the instrument that it's looking through. But that instrument is always going to be changing. So you will change. So in 10 years' time, even if you have a profound awakening now, in 10 years' time, you'll understand and see as a body-mind mechanism non-duality in a completely different way. If you didn't, then you will, it would be like it wouldn't be a true awakening, because the body is always meant to be evolving and changing. So your ideas about non-duality should always be changing. Your ideas about life should always be changing. Your ideas about everything should always be growing and evolving. And there shouldn't ever be trying to cap onto that. The only reason we try and cap onto it is because we're trying to, as a separate person, live in security. But this has nothing to do with the intellect or about ideas of non-duality. It's about that stillness which is always present. The stillness which hears me, looks at me, moves that mouth to smile now, which is so beautiful. And that's not intellectual.
When it resonates with me, when you point that out, and
Yeah, it's so beautiful because it's
I
nothing
think
to
it's
do with what you think or feel. It's there.
no.
It's there. It's
But,
wonderful.
but now I'm getting it. But I'm flipping so fast back and forward.
Yeah, that's what
You know what I mean?
happens. That's what happens. And
Yeah,
it
and I
can
think
sometimes drive the instrument a little bit crazy because it does have an
it
effect
is
on the
already crazy. So
Oh, that's a great realization.
yes,
We're all crazy. Lisa's totally crazy.
yeah. There's no way fixing it
Yeah.
or whatsoever. So that's okay.
I have
But
an obsession with buying bones. This is the craziness of Lisa. I've got a tiny little freezer and I feed my dog raw
bones.
bones. Yeah, this is
Oh,
my craziness, like raw meat. And I have an
hmm,
obsession with buying it. And every Sunday we have a market in town that gives away free bones and I get like really into getting the free bones. So eventually I can't put any of my food in the freezer because it's all dog bones. This is and then I have loads in the fridge. I open it, I'm like, she's crazy. What are you buying,
yeah.
bones?
That's
I
true.
don't even eat
Yeah,
meat, but I like buying bones. We're all totally crazy and got our little quirks and little craziness and little
yeah.
particular ways of being. Somebody's calling me on FaceTime, which most probably means that there's something wrong with the stream.
Mm.
Just 1 second. Don't. Lisa the bone collector. Oh no. Okay, well, we're good. That was just random that somebody called me on FaceTime. Okay. Nice.
So there's nothing to do. But that's
No, that's not true. Doing
well, yeah,
happens.
no, because there are things to do.
Like collect
Uh,
bones.
for example,
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
Sunday, very important. I'm
Food.
like out there looking to see where the bones are.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, so I was in my mind that all some serious things you have to do as a human being, and you just collect bones. That's
Yeah. But doing is always happening. It's just seeing that the you that you thought did isn't the doer. So that energy that feels like you are in behind the eyes and you're making a choice to do something isn't
hmm
actually a separate entity. It's a functioning, appearing in a boundless freedom. And that still
it
carries
is,
on. I still have
but
that dilemma. You know, I go to the store where it sells the bones and I see the small bones, the big bones, and they want to give me these bones and I'm trying to barter. So I still have that one that's like, no, say this, say that. No, oh, you said it wrong. But that doesn't equal an entity.
no, it's
It's a functioning.
what you can say. It's a functioning. It's a
Yeah.
mechanism. This body
And
mind.
that functioning always has to play like that and it has to update itself. So if you know say with your neighbour you learn that if you make noise after 10 o'clock that they
Mm,
shout at you. So now every time it
yeah.
comes to 10 o'clock you tell yourself, oh, I shouldn't make noise. And that's not that
Mm,
you, so that seems like there's somebody doing, but that doesn't actually belong to someone. But that's a really important functioning of being a human. That input comes and goes, oh, 10 o'clock, I shouldn't make noise. But the problem
mhm.
is we feel that that's a separate entity living inside our head rather than a functioning. It's a really important functioning of this instrument, the ability to decipher between one action and another. Khaleesi doesn't have it, and she does really stupid things.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
we have that ability, but that doesn't imply that we're
That's
separate. That's the problem, is it that we think it makes us separate. I'm going to choose orange juice over apple juice, therefore I have free will and I'm separate from the orange juice, I'm separate from the universe. But actually it's a machine that's evolving and updating. And anything that appears in this world, so any thought, any choice, anything cannot be the ultimate source of all things. And so where do these choices appear from? And then when it's explored, it's seen that there is no place, there's no person, there is nothing it appears from. It spontaneously explodes into existence. And then when it explodes into existence, it comes with this profound sense of being, of amness. And that's the freedom, is going back to that rather than living in this identity which lives in time.
It is so weird because that I constantly object to you, but you're saying, I think, no, there is a choice. And then 1 second it clicks with me,
Yeah.
and I agree, I totally agree. No, you get, there is no choice or no.
But there's an appearance of choice, and this is where the mind keeps getting stuck. Because if I said to you now, can you take your earphones out? It would seem like the thought comes out, okay, take your earphones out, and then you do. But that location of the you isn't actually you. So that location of the one that says, okay, I'm choosing to take, and it normally feels like you're in the head somewhere. This isn't actually something so much bigger to people, is that people use that to validate their helplessness and to validate their powerlessness. And as a person, you should feel empowered, like you can choose. Like you can choose to leave someone, you can choose to get a job. Whether or not that will happen, none of us know, but it's not ultimately a separate person, but the body feels like it can choose. So now if I had a massive debt or something, I'm trying to think of a difficult problem, a massive debt, I could take action in order to change that. But it's not my action, but by this body having the information, you can take action to change that, and you can go to this person, then it will more than likely happen. Just like if you update Siri with information.
That's what I mean. You have to kind of program the body mind.
But there's nobody in
the right decisions.
But that it doesn't. Yeah, precisely. But that doesn't belong to someone. There's no one behind choice. That's the beauty of it. Because those choices. So when I say, "Oh, I've got a debt that I've got to clear," or whatever it is, or I have a debt that I need help with, and then you look through these different options, that on the bodily form, it feels like there is choice, so you can choose to go with this person or that person, but it's the freedom is seeing that choice maker doesn't equal a separate entity, and it doesn't equal you. Who you really are is not found in this world, but yet is everything, and that's the love. It's like prior to the human's mistakes, but then at the same time it's all of them, because it's everything and nothing. And this is the problem, is that we get lost in that small narrow world of believing we're the person that makes choices. And then we get this whole entity that goes into time that feels guilty about its choices, it blames for its choices, and it lives in a very narrow, contracted world. And that person's got to carry on functioning with all its problems and all its dramas and all its past history and karma, but that's not you. And this is the waking up. And this is the freedom, seeing that that's not you. So beautiful. Who you are is something that never is born, never dies, and is never found in a thing, a feeling, a choice.
I believe that, and
I think that you know it more than believe it. I think it's like you can taste it.
Yes, I think so too. But the body-mind...
it's so conditioned to believe it's a separate entity that...
Yeah, but it cannot... Or the problem is, or the danger is, that the body-mind thinks it is God, and it's unlimited, and it has no choice.
Yeah.
And then it's...
And it just normally... and it normally goes through phases of that. And it depends, if you're a really positive person, then more than likely you'll be like, I am God. And if you're a really like high confidence person, you'll be on the positive side of it, and you'll be like, I am God, I am Jesus Christ come into manifestation. Yes. And if you're a really negative person, then you'll take it on to validate your helplessness. So you'll take it on to feel powerless, and you'll be like, I am God and there's nothing I can do, my life is fucked, so I've got to... life.
That's not true.
And it's not true. So you'll take it on, So you see sometimes these teachers, and I'm not going to name any of them because like you can't get a bad teacher. Life is the teacher, but you see these teachers that kind of like embody it as if they are gods, like they've taken it on the personal level, or maybe they're just starting to be a teacher, or they're blogging in these like Facebook groups or something, and they take it on and they really feel like they are God. And that's a beautiful expression, but it comes with this arrogance and this pride and this superiority. And then you get the other ones that are following them often, feeling like they're powerless and that they can't make choices and they can't do something. And neither's true. Both of them are taken onto the person. The person cannot be liberated. The person is always crazy and is always got the ability to evolve more and deeper to this. And that's really important, that whoever you're listening to as a speaker recognizes that they're never stuck. Like Lisa can always improve her karmas and her issues and there's always an opportunity to go deeper into where she gets stuck, or where old karmas come up, or old thought patterns. And there's loads of teachers out there that can embrace that now, but it's also hard to be the speaker and to also saying, I can get angry, I can get sad about things, because people have this expectation or need to see you as God.
Yeah, but that's not
it either. But at the same time,
that's not true.
It's not true at all. But it's a hard one when you're at the front, because it's got so many different dynamics being the speaker up front.
People will judge you because of that.
Yeah. And it's not just it's also confusing as to people want to look at enlightenment as a final place, and it's never a final place in the human form. There's a final place as that stillness which is beyond the human form. But as the human form, we've always got the potential to evolve, always.
Yeah.
That's what life is growth and destruction, growth and destruction.
I agree. It's always order and chaos.
Yeah.
But I think there's the realization of being consciousness.
Yeah.
Is how do you experience it? Because you know Lisa, the bone collector.
Yeah.
Crazy person.
Yeah.
But there's also a conscious of a part of you, a knowing, an Hintergedanke.
It's not so much the personality knows it. What happened was, when I was in Bali, there had been many awakenings before, many intellectual awakenings and many energetical awakenings. And what happened was, it was like there is this stillness that's always looking. And when you're identified, it's like there's only attention in the movement. There's only attention in you and what's happening. But there's always this stillness which is experiencing itself. And what happened was the energy shifted back to that. And it was like an energetic thing, not an intellectual thing. And it just felt like my center became still and non-located. And my sense of being, inside this body, sort of kind of went into everything. It didn't feel located. And in one way it was dramatic, and in one way not. And then since then, so that was like 7 years ago now, since then it's been a process of Lisa becoming more and more balanced, but she's still screwed up. She still has to go through her issues. Like, she's still...
Yeah, they never go away.
Yeah, and like...
You always improve, or always have to do work things out.
Yeah, and so for the last 7 years, it felt like that energetic movement has been sort of settling down and changing a lot of ways of her being. Through life, through meeting people, through expressing this, it's kind of changed a lot of things in her personality. But it felt like from that moment on, there was never being lost anymore. Like it just felt like my essence no longer was lost in the movement. It no longer got lost in moving. Even though the movement was still happening, it kind of came back to center, and it's really hard to describe. But you know what I'm talking about. It's just that your
I
attention keeps
believe
going,
so. Yeah.
it keeps going back into movement every so often. And when you go back into the movement, you feel totally identified and in the person.
Yeah, but also think, or am I just making it up and identifying with
Yeah.
consciousness?
But I wouldn't even give that thought, that line of thinking too much. Like,
No,
I
because
wouldn't give,
I see it as a thought as well, and
yeah,
then I
I
go,
would
okay, I
just,
can see the thought.
yeah, just keep exploring sensation, what happens, listen to non-duality and let it kind of do its thing. But don't be arrogant to think that you're done. Just be open to always looking at what's happening, if you see what I mean.
Yeah,
But and so
yeah,
listening,
I know
being
what you mean.
open to experience. But I wouldn't get caught up in too much of the thinking of am I dumb or am I not? Because, you know, even if you, like, it just is irrelevant. It's an irrelevant thought, and it's normally coming when you feel that energy of seeking, or when you feel out of balance. When you don't feel lost in a story, then you don't question whether or not it's happened or not happened. Just keep being honest to the experience. It's so sweet.
Yes, yes, that's the most important thing I've discovered. Being honest,
Yeah, so important.
absolutely, and don't suppress my feelings
Yeah,
or.
yeah,
Uh, but it's tempting because you can suppress them and you can
yeah,
bullshit and then
yeah,
go along with it, but
yeah,
it bites you so hard in the back.
yeah. That's the beauty of life, is it doesn't let you get away with it.
No, I wish it did, but it doesn't.
For a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Ah.
That's so nice to talk with you.
Yeah. It was good to speak with you last time. That's what I thought because you ended on, dude, I don't care about anybody's enlightenment. I need to eat now, right? Because there, you need to take care of the body mind.
This is
Yeah,
how I ended the
before.
last session.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I recognize it because you need to have things in order
yeah,
before you can
yeah,
think about these things.
yeah.
And I think, I
And
don't know,
also,
but
I have a greedy personality, so I like my food. I can't eat that much of it because I've got a small body, but I like my food. So by the time at 8 o'clock in the evening when I finish, I'm like, food,
I need to have it now. Yeah, I know.
feed me.
Very well.
Oh, nice speaking with you.
Thank you very much. It was very nice speaking
We haven't
with
spoken
you.
before, have we? Have we written to each other? I
No,
recognise your name. We've never written to each other?
I tried to call you last time,
Last
and
time.
you told me,
This time.
yeah, last time, and I think the time before. But I running you like 2 months ago.
Ah, okay.
Very short, but yeah, it's good. I love your live streams, and
Nice. Yeah, and you seem to be resonating with it. I can see this joy that's not personal.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's yeah. What I see, you got to be honest, because or else you get nothing. So
Yeah, nice. Sweet. Thanks, Lawrence.
thank you very much.
Bye.
Have a nice evening. Bye.
Oh, that was a sweet conversation. Oh, my sound is good. Oh yes, we have to check all my vitals. Let's make sure this stream is going well. Just checking. Yeah, the heat is good. Yeah. Just checking the other one. Oh, hello. Lots of messages here. And remember, guys, you've got to, I forget to tell this, you've got to self-regulate. So if someone's being rude, report them. I don't mind them being a little bit rude to Lisa or that sort of thing, but if they're being rude to any of the speakers, the callers, you know, if they're being really rude, then report them and you guys can keep, because I can't keep track of all of it. It's so funny how it makes me laugh how I see some people on here who I know and they really dislike the way I speak, but they come and listen every week. or twice a week. I love that. Okay. I think the Ruby. Okay. Well, you just make sure you guys are on it. And what I particularly dislike is if they're rude to my callers. Oh. Okay, let's see who's next. Who's next? Hey, Andrea. Hey, Diana. Does contracted me could come in this and be recognized as this love too? Somebody's calling me and saying no sound again. Just refresh your, try refreshing your pages. Does contracted me could come in this and be recognized as this love? I mean, it seems that there needs to be me to function in daily and social life. There needs to be the functioning of the person, but that's not, we think that the person is what disappears or what awakens, but it's not. So there needs to be, and so the appearance of Lisa is more and less throughout the day. So when there's social life happening, there appears more of a Lisa. So, but that's not to do with the contraction. There needs to be an appearance of that person, that personality. But the contraction is the belief that that's who you are. The looker, the experiencer, is experiencing all of it equally. It's not found in that person. It seems it as it comes by itself. When in interaction, I see it as love too, as part of everything. I also see a lot of emotional release of past, but it seems seen as this love too. Our last conversation had really strong impact in this body-mind, and is not even in the words we exchange, but it was really strong energetically, so thank you so much for that. Yeah, it really is an energetical exchange that happens. And you know, the release, the emotional release of past pains never ends. That's an endless thing that's going to carry on, because you'll always pick up new pains. Or, you know, we like to think of enlightenment, that we get enlightened and then nothing ever happens to us again. We only have beautiful experiences, but that's not the nature of this life. You know, the body might be in a car accident, or it might have a really brutal divorce, or lose all its money, and so then there's going to have to be a release. And then there's always going to be flavors of this body. This body still releases old emotional pains. I really enjoy it when they come up now, but there's still old things that are associated to when I was a child, or all throughout my life, and even past lives. I don't even see it as past lives, but it's not in this body's life, but it's in like humans' life. And that's a never-ending thing that's always going to be happening in these bodies, and we'll always be picking up new ones. But there begins to stop being the rejection of that, and just wanting to always be in this perfectly happy state. And it's seen as part of life, and that traumas are part of this life. It's part of being human. We always want to avoid and get away from. So what's important is the movement back to that stillness, so that what's looking now, what's experiencing now is love. And then on the human form, you have to be fully human, not pretending that you're spiritually advanced, or you don't have any past issues, or you don't get sad, or that you're always happy. Being fully human to what you are. So if you're the bone collector, then you have to be the bone collector. She's a bone collector. I actually am tempted, because I have such a thing for doing this. It's such a weird thing to do. I'm tempted to show you the bones. Like all the different... It's like, what I love about it, about collecting the bones for Khaleesi, is I love it that it's waste of these animals. And I just love feeding her well. Like this wolf in her. Like feeding the wolf. And I love finding, I just love it. There's something really beautiful in it. I'm really tempted to show you. Okay. You can all see how crazy the Lisa is. Okay, well, first of all, show you Khaleesi's outside area where she's allowed to keep her bones. Let's see, is the house too much of a mess? Khaleesi! It's like my wild wolf in me. So this is her outside area with the collection of bones. This is so funny. I don't know if you can see them all down there. And this is why I can't have people around, because she'll get possessive. So there's bone. I think this is a hip. This is a big one. Got more over here. Got a little one. Oh, got lots of them. And look, Khaleesi's very happy because she's just had a rib, or some ribs, I think. And if you have a dog, this is the best thing that you could do for your dog, and for all animals as well. And I have another 2 shelves of ribs and some chips because I'm English. Or French fries. Don't we, Khaleesi? Right? Where's your puppy? Bones. Yeah. Lisa, now I continue to explore the feelings. I'm noticing the place where I experience resistance is my self-image. I find when I have a negative emotion, it really is defending how I'm imagining I appear to the world. For example, good person, artist, a person with integrity. And when I'm shown those aren't true, I suffer. How do we explore this particular issue? Just keep going deep into that feeling. I'm just going to turn the light off because it has a fan in the kitchen. Just keep going into that feeling. So you have this image that comes up, and like just through exploring, seeing that is really beautiful. So you see that that your imagination is very quickly producing an image that it wants to uphold. And so therefore you feel anxiety, you feel a sense of contractedness, or you feel the need to be a certain way, you feel a need to be appreciated for something. And so when you're in relationship with people, just see how that plays out and just keep exploring it. And just go on to the fickle first. So if you can't get to any deeper level, just go on to the fickle level of, I want you to like me. I want you to see me as an artist. You know, and you can admit this to people as well. There was a problem with the sound. Sometimes refreshing the page helps. Good evening, Beth. Hey, Beth. Hey, Kevin. I just think there's a few other people that have asked to call before you, Kevin. I think we spoke last time. Hey, Klaus. That's sweet, thanks, Klaus. Hey, Yelango. Hey, Philip. I don't think we spoke with Sebastian on Wednesday, so I think I'll call him. But I spoke with Kevin, and Alango I spoke to last Sunday. Oh, Philip, yeah. I just am calling Sebastian now, and then we can speak.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Sebastian, I can hear you.
Perfect.
And you don't sound too loud today. Just have a little bit of a... say something.
I'm too loud?
No, you sound great.
Okay.
If...
Oh, my video is... I have stream of you, video stream. Do you know how I can end the video stream? It costs volume, you know.
Yeah.
The internet does not make it, I guess. I think.
I'm sorry, I
Okay,
didn't...
whatever.
You could... I think you're speaking to the wrong Lisa.
To the wrong Lisa?
Yeah, are you speaking to the person in live stream?
No,
you're speaking to me.
Yes, I speak to you.
But this voice might be the one from live stream. Because sometimes when people are answering, I felt like you were answering out of time then, so I felt like you were answering to someone else.
No, I'm just slow. I'm just a slow speaker, slow thinker, slow speaker, you know. Okay. So I guess you've read my question.
Oh, I didn't actually, no.
No, okay. So what I wanted to present you, to tell you, was that the thing with decision making and guilt, which is strongly connected, I think somehow, yes, I mostly don't know how to decide. We already talked about it, I think, but somehow I sense that there's something that needs to be, where light needs to be um shine 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 on. Light needs to shine on. There's a dark place I don't know, I can't see somehow, because it's happening again and again. There are decisions. I want the one thing, but the other thing I think I should choose.
Yeah.
It's somehow connected with my addictions I had. I always wanted to act out my addiction, but I knew I shouldn't. And so I always have this contraction of, I want to do this, I want this, but it's wrong, and so, and yeah, I feel into it, but most of the time there's just this it just feels contracted in the heart and in the whole body, and it's not moving, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in the end, when I've chosen, there comes up guilt and blame for the wrong decision, you know?
Yeah.
And then I feel, but it feels so deep, and I don't know, I don't really get
Okay.
forward with it.
And are you feeling contracted around choice now?
About the choice, no, the choices ran out somehow, but it's more guilt and blame, self-blame
Okay, so if you
at the
just
moment.
shut your eyes. I can't see you actually.
Shall I turn on my...
Yeah, don't worry, I won't put it on so other people can see you. Hey.
Hello?
Have I ever seen you before? I don't think so.
I'm not sure. Maybe.
In a dark room with a big shadow.
Yeah, I feel like in a I don't know the English word, when people um when the CIA wants to know something from you, they shine you with a
Yeah.
big light
Yeah,
and
it's really funny
ears.
because behind you there's a massive shadow as well, so it looks so dramatic. Like every time you move your hand.
So you said shutting eyes.
Yeah. So guys, I'm just going to explain to everyone else what I'm doing, what Dr. Lisa is doing, who isn't a doctor.
Oh yeah, Lisa.
So what basically I'm going to do is I'm going to run Sebastian through his feelings, and it's sometimes harder for people to do this when they have in their imagination that 100 and something people are watching, and eventually tomorrow will be 1,000. Not to make you nervous in any way, Sebastian. I'm just joking. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to run you through your feelings that you feel inside your body. He's looking very serious. Serious, Sebastian.
I'm serious, yeah.
He's already, and I'm
I'm
still joking
serious.
around. He's okay. So if you just put your attention into your body and just tell me what you feel inside the body.
It feels like pressure on the chest area.
Yeah. And you feel sensations of guilt and blame at the moment, like you've made or done something wrong?
At the moment, the feeling of guilt is not that strong anymore. Maybe a little bit. It's mostly in the lower body, the sacrum maybe.
Yeah. And what do you feel there?
It feels like tension. It's tension. Can I turn off the light? It's very
Is,
very light.
yeah, maybe you can just put it up
Right.
towards the ceiling so I can see your face.
Or I need sunglasses.
Yeah, it's better if I can see your face. I know I'm shutting my eyes, but
Okay.
just turn it up to the ceiling so I can see your face. So it's not on your face. Turn the light.
Sorry again.
You can pull the light up to the ceiling or you can pull it off your face.
Oh, okay, to the ceiling.
Yeah.
But now I'm very dark.
That's okay.
It's okay.
I can still see you enough. It's better than if you switch it off. So just let your feelings go there. And sorry, what was it that you said you felt?
Tension.
Tension in the lower belly. You felt that tension?
Lower.
And you feel
Lower body.
Lower body, and you feel blame there or anger? What was the?
It's mostly guilt, blame.
Yeah, and you're blaming yourself or others?
Yes, myself.
And what are you blaming yourself for? Just on the surface level.
I should have chosen differently.
And so there's a particular thing that you've recently done that you're ashamed of?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So just feel the burn of that you've done something wrong. And just in a way, encourage it to come up. Let it, like this is, we're not going to do this all the time. You don't want to do this all day. But just at this moment, encourage that feeling to come up. That you are the worst, most guilty, bad person for whatever you've done. That you've got it really wrong, that you've fucked up your life and that you're going to always feel this. Just let it come up to its most extreme. And if it doesn't, that's okay. Just keep your attention there and where the contraction is.
It turns into sadness.
Yeah?
Yes.
And what does that sadness feel like?
It feels like rain in my body.
Mm-hmm.
Like gravitation is getting stronger.
Like what?
Earth gravitation.
Yeah.
Gravitation of Earth is getting stronger. I'm pulled down somehow.
Yeah. And just let that happen. Let it take you over. I'm just going to explain to other people that are listening what I'm doing with you. Basically, in this moment, right here, is this amness, this sense of being. And this sense of being is love. So there is this no-thingness that's experiencing its self-consciousness, this consciousness. And when it explodes into expression, it comes with this sense of being, this amness, this aliveness. And that doesn't belong to you. It's the front side, the everything part, to existence. And the emptiness part is the looking, the empty looker. And then when it goes into expression, the empty looker, the no-thingness, there is this sense of being, of liveness. And this is love. And this is always present. It's right here. But we have these feelings that we get attached to and we get really stuck in, really strong feelings. And we have these feelings and we are trying to get rid of them and get away from them. And we kind of get sucked, or all the attention goes into this person that has these uncomfortable feelings or these particular feelings and is always trying to get good feelings and avoid bad ones. And so what I'm doing now is I'm trying to go back into what the actual experience is. And if there's an absolute dropping into the experience, then there will be this absolute love that takes over, because that's who you are. But I'm trying to show you, and I'm trying to show Sebastian how he's running away from things, and trying to point him into not running away. Even though it's not him that wakes up, and ultimately there's no him there that can't run away, there is the appearance of someone that's always attempting to run away. And so this new information that's being given to the robot to actually explore the experience rather than run away from the experience. So just go into that sadness and see if any other descriptive words come out with it. And see if you can just let it get huge. Like, take over the whole screen. Stop trying to suppress it. Just let it explode outwards. Like, leak over all the edge. Nothing bad is going to happen if you totally embrace it.
No, it's more like numbness,
Yeah,
especially in the chest area.
yeah. So describe that numbness to me.
It's dark and yeah, it's tension,
Yeah,
pressure, tension, dark, numb.
yeah.
It's like a blind spot.
Yeah. Can you feel this sense of being alive?
Yes, but not in the chest area.
Where do you feel the sense of existence?
Head, hands, feet.
What does it feel like?
Sorry?
What does it feel like?
Like currency.
Money?
Oh no. Not money. What comes?
Like electricity?
Electricity, yeah, genau.
You were really nearly correct in that word, because like current, like the current of energy, but
Yeah, energy, like energy,
yeah,
moving energy.
yeah. And can you feel this love there? This
No,
kind of like excitement of being, this boundless childlikeness that's always been there.
I don't think so. That sounds very strange for me, what you're saying.
Just try to imagine am. Just maybe say it a few times, I am. What sensation comes with that?
I am. resistant.
Huh?
Yes, resistance
Yeah.
is it reminds me of the Nisargadatta and these Indian philosophies, and
Yeah.
there comes resistance.
Terrible teachers. Better off listening to
Yes.
Lisa Cairns. But anyway, so that resistance. Okay, so that's okay. So go to that resistance, because that resistance is the separate person. So where do you feel that resistance?
Almost whole body, I would say.
Yeah. So just trust this. Just trust this. I know that you can't trust this ultimately, but we're just going to be in the very human, relative world and just allow this to take you over. So feel the resistance all over your body. And that energy to push away and no, just let that take over. And simultaneously, can you also feel this initial sense of being that's always been there? And it might feel odd because you feel this resistance and this dislike, and then also this bubbling love. If there isn't any bubbling love, then just stay with the resistance, because the bubbling love, that amness, is actually inside the resistance. It's there all the time. It doesn't belong to you, you appear in it. Just like the looking doesn't belong to you, the you appears in it. But I'm just going out of speaking in and out of the relative and the absolute, and just go with it. There might be people out there now listening that's like, fuck you, Lisa, you need to speak like this, or you need to speak like that, but just give it up. Just like fall into the vacuum of not knowing and stop protecting any ideas that you have. And just answer this as honestly as you can. The first thing that comes, Sebastian, don't try to let it go through any filters. Do you want that resistance to go or not?
To leave?
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
Just ask yourself it again. Do you really want it to leave?
Yes, I still think so.
So there's some part of you that has a yes in it. It's not all no, it's not all rejection. And
no, it's not all.
You could almost say that yes is that amness, like yes, this.
What this?
This, what's happening? What's happening is love expressing, going through a filter that's rejecting.
Oh yeah, right. I remember.
Don't try and push it. If you feel strong no, then let the no be there. And what is the no against? What are you fighting against?
I don't know. At the moment.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit confused maybe now. Or there is confusion. Unknowingness.
So where is that confusion?
Head.
So just let that confusion be there. What you are is beyond that, so it doesn't matter if some of the appearance is confused.
I honestly, I have to say that there's a kind of resistance to these Indian teachings, techniques, feeling the I amness.
Yeah.
I have practiced it for a while, but I left it, and now it feels somehow not right, you know.
There's nothing ever that's out of place. It's all mind. Just holding on to something or other. Just let it all go. Fuck it. Be the fool that doesn't know what it's talking about. Amness or Neo-Advaita. Well, fuck all of it. This is the only thing that's important. And so there's a resistance coming up, and give that resistance everything. Let that resistance burn in this. Let it come. It can never affect you. What you are is beyond that. So just let that feeling burn up. It's never ever something in thought. Your nature is the stillness that's present. And just let it out. Be honest with yourself. Fuck Nisargadatta. Fuck this. Fuck that. Whatever it's feeling, let the resistance speak. Just be honest. Nobody cares. Nobody knows who you are. Everyone's thinking about themselves anyway. And what this means for them.
Actually, I rather think that I cannot not be what I am. Isn't it so?
That's not what you're really feeling.
It's not a feeling, no.
But those words aren't really what you're feeling. Like those words that you just said then, they're the watered down surface level. Go deeper. Let the body speak without any filter. It can say whatever it wants. There's nothing that will shock me. I collect bones. My companion every day gets given a bone and sits there and eats this bloody bone for hours. When I say bloody, I don't mean it in a nasty manner. I mean it's literally bloody. Like yank, yank. She really loves it. And it actually gives me a lot of joy watching her do something that she loves so much. Even though we can imagine what she's doing, it's eating a dead animal that's been killed for food. And it's really quite gross, but it's divine watching her enjoy it and love it so much. Her wildness. There's nothing you could say that is bad or wrong. There's nothing to be ashamed of. It was never your thoughts. They're coming from a boundless energy. They don't belong to you. Can you feel the thoughts coming and how you're quickly trying to filter them or put them into your story of you?
Again, please.
Can you feel how the thoughts are coming and they're instantly getting suppressed?
Yes, I think so.
It's hard to see because we're so much fixated on the surface, like on what we want to hear or what we want to tell ourselves.
Did you say that you can't hear me?
No, I can hear you.
Okay. You see, what really confuses me. You say, you are the silence, you are the I amness and this stuff, but um, I, I, I more have the picture of I am everything.
They're the same things.
No,
It's just nitpicking.
what?
It's just nitpicking, like it's just trying to find little tiny differences for your mind to mentally masturbate. Rejects one and takes on the other. And all the teachers do it like this way. It doesn't matter how you say it. If it was about precision, at least I would have never had that experience because I'm so messy and unprecise, and I'm always changing the way I speak. So just let that sit in your body and see how you feel when I reject the idea that it has to be one way spoken about or another. See how your body reacts and dislikes that. And see how you try to not say what it feels or thinks because you want to be seen in a certain way.
It's tension.
Yeah. So just let the tension comes from the suppression of being who you truly are, which is anything that appears in this moment. Just let it go. Just fall into that free fall. Be true to yourself, which is the beingness, and then the spontaneous creation from that beingness. Always this spontaneous instant. That's where God is, that's where fullness is, that's where completion is in what's happening, not out of what's happening. It's in this. This is it.
It feels like I have to do something, or there's some expectation from me. Is there expectation?
But you're looking at everything the wrong way around. So instead of being afraid that I have an expectation of you, just see that feeling where you feel confused and you feel like there's an expectation of you, rather than trying to get that validation. It's okay to feel that feeling of feeling confused, feeling like you don't know what to be. Just stand there nakedly. Let all of this come. He doesn't want it. I can see by that look, like, no! Let me be in denial and pretend I'm something else.
It felt more like a relief now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh nice. Just let it all come.
There's always the question, what shall I do? What shall I do?
This is enough, just sitting here. Just let it all come up. Like, what should I do? I feel insecure. I don't know what to do. Blah, 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 blah. And then the stillness is right here. The sense of being, that amness is right here. It's buzzing. It's everything. It's in the sounds in the room. It's in that neurosis of the person. It's right here. Just let it all come. Stop trying to be something. But how do I stop when there is nobody? How does nobody stop? She is wrong, she is right. Just, none of it matters. You don't need to find a position in thought. It comes, it bubbles up. There is something here that's beyond the thought, that's beyond anything you know, that's beyond your feelings. It's right here. And just keep being honest with the feelings. So you feel insecure, just go deeper into it, because there's two main feelings that happen that get identified with when separation happens, and that's fear. I'm afraid of this big wide world, and lack. I feel like I've been abandoned by God. I feel lack of love. And so your mind strategies are all about trying to avoid fear and get to love. And just see that all the thought patterns, all your seeking patterns are evolving from that. So insecurity, not knowing what to do, all of that comes from fear. Blame of yourself for choices, all of it comes from as this innocence.
There's this urge to do something.
Yeah. Just let it be there.
To go somewhere, or to realize something that I can't see now.
Yeah. And then there's a stillness in which all that seeking is appearing in.
Am I not already this stillness?
You are, but your mind is trying to seek for an answer in movement. You can't find it in movement. It keeps trying to get its claws in anywhere.
Can I found it at all? Find it at all?
Not you as a person, but it's there. All you as the person needs to do is be honest to what's actually happening. You've suppressed yourself for so many years trying to be a person which you've been taught.
What's there to find if I am already this?
There's nothing to find, but look how you're uncomfortable because you're seeking.
Oh, there's fear.
Yet just let that fear be there. Just let it come. I'm afraid. I don't want to feel this. Quick, think, do something. Try and find an answer. Just let it be there and take over. It's okay. This beingness, this stillness is here the whole time. But the person's lost in the movement. In getting. And you are. This is. There is this vibrant radiance that's buzzing through everything. And it is everything. It's knowing itself. And it is itself.
The old question again.
If I say yes or no, then that just comes up and disappears. So you say, can I do something? And I go, yes. You can stay in your feelings. And then those thoughts disappear. Then you say, can I do something? And I say, no, there is nobody to do anything. And then those feelings come up and disappear. But yet, presence is always here. That which is experiencing itself is always here. Silently, knowing itself and is itself as that beingness, that sense of love. And then the feeling of fear comes up. And then the thoughts come up, how can I get rid of this fear? And the whole time all of that is known. The whole time there is this experiencing of itself, this knowing. And then the fear turns into love. And then the person thinks, I've got it, I'm in love. And then that comes and goes. And the whole time there is a presence that knows itself, that is itself as beingness, as that amness, that's knowing. And then the person thinks, I understand, I got it. And then that thought comes up and goes. Then the feeling comes up and goes of getting it and losing it. Not there, but yet there is always experiencing, always something knowing everything that's happening. And it's never moved, and yet it's everything that moves. The everything is love, and the nothing is the watching. And this isn't located. There is no location of an experiencer.
Oh, there's guilt again.
To let the guilt come.
Guilt, tension.
Yep.
Chest is still tight.
And what is it that's experiencing that?
Oh, the famous question.
Who is it that's experiencing that? You believe that's who you are, that you're tense, that that's happening to you, but who is this you in which it happens to?
It happens, just happens.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yeah.
Now resistance.
Yeah.
Again.
And is that the experiencer? Do you feel like that resistance is you?
Sorry?
Do you feel like that resistance is you?
50%, maybe.
You are that boundless energy in which all of this appears. That which listens now doesn't feel any resistance. That which knows the resistance doesn't feel any resistance. That's all happening in the dream. It's not happening to someone, it's not happening to you. Don't keep anything out.
It's not happening to me, it's just happening, you say.
That one that feels like it has anything isn't listening now, isn't experiencing now. That one that's had a life, the one that feels like it's sat there, the one that has resistance, isn't listening, isn't experiencing. It is an experience. You is an experience. Who you truly are is that which is beyond something that's found in experience. This knowing that isn't limited, that is eternity, which is timeless.
It sounds so much like a story.
Well, I'm trying to speak to that which is beyond the story and the person. Right now, what hears the sound of my voice, not you, not a thought, not an interpretation.
What now? I'm still searching for something.
I remember Ramesh used to
I
say
still have not found it, Lisa. I still have not found it.
You will never find it. That's your illusion, that's your dream. Ramesh used to say, it's such a young age that this comes in. So he used to tell this story, Ramesh Balsaka. He used to say that when his grandchild was something like 2 years old, 3 years old, or grandniece I think it was, not child, niece, she came to his apartment. He had to babysit her, And she decided, she was about 3 years old, and she decided to draw him a picture. And so he drew him a picture, and then she showed him. And then he went, oh, that's very good, well done. And then she just looked at him and went, and what now? What now? It's so ingrained in us, that idea. What to do? What should I do? It's beyond that. That's the illusion. The next book, the next spiritual concept, it's right here. And I know you're thinking, but I feel uncomfortable. But of course that's the way. Because there's such an addiction to always seeking. It's just like giving up alcohol or giving up drugs. The addiction of you is here.
It's here. It's here. And this is it.
This is it, baby. Yeah. Can only ever be here. It was really beautiful what we just did, even though I know that your mind was wanting something else from it. But what was happening in the last half an hour was things were coming up, and there was just a staying with that, rather than just following out the need to understand, the need to get somewhere. There was just allowing all these things to come up. And you can see how the mind, it doesn't feel good because the mind is like, trying to hold on to something and get something. It always wants something.
Because for the mind, this is obviously not it.
Yeah, of course, the mind wants something in time. Yeah. But I'm off for my dinner now. I know that I've got some people that I said I would speak to, but my body's telling me they want to eat now.
Okay.
But lovely to speak with you again, Sebastian. Thank you for being so honest and open. It's all about just being honest.
Thanks, Lisa, for the guidance.
Thank you. Bye, Sebastian.
Thank you. See you, Lisa.
Hi, Elango. I'm sorry, Philip. I told you I'd speak with you, but I'm hungry now. It's been 2 hours we've been all talking. I know you all think that, maybe not Philip because he's been to lots of my talks before, but people tend to think that this is the most important thing. But actually the most important thing is what's happening. The sight now of the computer, the feeling of the bum on your seat. That is where freedom is. The sound of my voice. The feeling of the computer on the hands. This is where the freedom is. This is where love is. This is it, baby. So is there anything else I need to tell you? I don't think so. So I send you all a big kiss. You can feel that on your face, on your forehead. Move your cheek. And I will see you on Wednesday at 6 p.m. French time. And I think I've fixed all the problems with the stream now, so I should be on time. Okay, bye guys.